In this video, I'm going to talk about the subtree of another tree problem. So we are given the nodes of two trees, and the nodes are called root and subroot. For simplicity, I'll call them P and Q. And basically, I need to find out whether Q is a subtree of P. Okay? And what that means is whether Q is the same tree as P, or Q is the same tree as a portion of P. Okay, so for example, in example 1, Q is the same tree as a portion of P, which is 4, 1, and 2, because they have the same values and the same structure. In example 2, Q is not the same tree as a portion of P, because that portion also contains an additional left node, which 2 does not have. Okay, so that's why we return false here. So the way to do this problem is to actually think about what we just said. We need to find out whether something, right, whether a tree is the same as another tree. So let's create a function is exactly the same as. Okay, so I have P and Q, and I want to find out whether Q is exactly the same as P. And if you guys have seen my video on the Leetcode problem same tree, I have explained the solution in detail for this function in particular. So basically I want the values of the two root nodes to be equal, right? P.val must be equals to Q.val, and I want their left subtrees and their right subtrees to be the same as well. So I'll say the left subtrees of P and Q need to be the same, and the right subtrees of P and Q need to be the same as well. Okay? And we have a bunch of if conditions here. If neither P nor Q exist, we say yes, they are the same because they're both none. But if either of them exists and the other doesn't, for example, if Q and not P, or if P and not Q, then obviously they're not the same trees, right? Because one thing existing and the other not means they're not the same thing. Alright, so for this problem, let's create another function called isPartOf, and my goal with this function is to find out whether Q is a part of P. Okay, so they don't have to be the same trees, but I just want to know whether Q exists as a part of P. Like in this example, 412 exists as 412 inside this tree. Okay, and the way we implement it is pretty intuitive. We use this function that we created for another problem right here. Okay, so we say that this is our first check. Are P and Q the same trees? If yes, I would want to return true. Okay, because for this example, a tree could be considered as a subtree of itself. Okay, so if Q and P were the same trees, yes, I would want to return true. Q is a subtree of P. Otherwise, I want to find out whether Q is a part of P. So what are the two parts of P that we know? It's the left subtree and the right subtree, right? So I want to know whether Q is a part of the left subtree of P, or whether Q is a part of the right subtree of P. Okay? So that's what I want to find out. And we need a base case for this recursion because we are calling the same function here. So intuitively speaking, no tree can be a subtree of none, right? So if P is none, there can be nothing that can be a subtree of none. Okay, so I just want to return false. So that's a check that I want to make. And after this, there is just one more step. Okay, so if you leave the solution like this, your code is correct, but you're missing something. So I challenge you guys to take a moment to think about what is missing in this code, okay, before I hit run or submit. Okay guys, so I hope you figured it out. We're actually missing a call to the function that we just created, which is a pretty simple problem to have, but I've faced it a lot as well, because when you call a function, when you create a function inside another function in Python, sometimes I forget to actually call it. Okay, so I want to return the response of is a part of, and you'll remember that the original arguments are root and subroot instead of p and q. So I'll say I want to find out whether subroot is a part of root. Okay, so basically it's either the same as root right here, or there exists a part in root that is the same as subroot. Okay, so now we're ready to call the function. That's good. So let's see if it passes the test cases. And it does. Alright guys, I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.